Everyone, today I am talking to you about something that I've been going through for the last few months. Um, some of you that may have seen my channel have seen that I mainly talk about travel. I live in America, I am a Brit, and this is kind of showing you that life abroad isn't always sunshine and rainbows. Um, for the last 3 months, my hair has been falling out quite a lot. I'll show you roughly what I lose a day at the moment. This is about 24 hours worth of hair that falls out nearly every single day. This is what I roughly lose. Some people might think that doesn't look like much. It's a lot. It's a lot for what is normal for me, and it's not fun. And I'm going to tell you some of the ways that I have been trying to cope with what I'm going through, and basically my story of how I've what's been happening to me. So just before Christmas, I was brushing my hair one day. I hit a knot and I tried to untangle it with my hands, and suddenly the whole lot fell out. At first, I put it down to the fact that maybe I just pulled too hard with my brush and it fell out, um, but it wasn't the case. It's then a week later after Christmas, I was back home in England visiting. I also happened to become kind of ill. I had a temperature and I felt really rough. It was almost a bit like the flu. And I blamed what was happening on hair loss because I felt like more was coming out. I completely forgot what had happened before Christmas, and I was like, my hair's falling out. This isn't good. It's like I googled it and I was like, can a high temperature make your hair fall out? If they said yes, I looked at the flu tablets I was on. One of the side effects was hair loss, and I kind of put it down to that. So I was like, not good. And I'd found like a hole, like a patch that was maybe like 5p sized, which is like a dime in America. By the time I got back to America, I went to the doctors, which was about a week later. In that time, the dime size had doubled in size to more like a 10p, or what would be a quarter size hole. So I knew something was up, not normal. The doctor diagnosed me with alopecia areata. It basically means that you lose hair in like holes, in patches, and it wasn't fun. It's like I was kind of like, oh, the only alopecia I know is when you go completely bald. And fair enough, hair is like nothing. There's things that are obviously a lot worse, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, it's only hair, it grows back, but it does affect you. It does, and it's not fun. And within, I went back another 2 weeks later to see a specialist, a dermatologist, and in that time, what was the quarter size hole had almost like doubled again to like a patch like that big. So I was like, this isn't good. And I was scared to brush my hair. I didn't want to brush it anymore because I was scared that more was going to come out. I didn't want to wash my hair because I didn't want it to come out again. I got to the point where I was using like a cup to try and limit the amount of water that was going on my head. At the very start, I didn't sleep. I couldn't sleep for weeks because I was scared that like rubbing my head on the pillow would make more come out. I didn't want it to get knotted in the night because I knew I'd have to brush it in the morning. I couldn't sleep. And the only way I managed to fall asleep in the end was to listen to meditation apps to get me to go to sleep, which again is not really fun. And yeah, it affected me. Uh, I suppose I was more worried about what was coming. It's like I was worried about how bad it would get. The worst thing that I'd done, the absolutely worst thing that I'd done, and I wouldn't suggest doing it, is don't look at pictures or videos of people showing you how bad it is. I'm not going to show you the bits that look bad. I mean, you can kind of see like on the top, like this is a hole, but I can cover it. So it's like you can kind of see that, you know, it's not bad. The biggest hole is right around the back. Again, I can cover it. It's like it doesn't look bad. And like it's really weird. I'm trying to do this back. Like here has gone really thin. That side has gone really thin. And yeah, seeing actual big bold patches, I still don't like seeing my own. It's like I don't like touching them. I don't like, sometimes I'll try and take a picture to see if it's improving, if it's got bigger, if it, I don't like seeing it. I don't like seeing it on myself. I don't like seeing potentially what it could turn into. And that is one of the biggest things I would say for coping with it is don't look at how bad it can be. Like you loads of places say you've just got to get over the fact fact that it's coming out. It's like there's nothing you can do to stop it. It's just going to come out, and you've just got to deal with it. And that was hard. It's like I found it hard knowing that I wasn't in control. It's like, say, if you break your arm, you get a cast on it. If you have a headache, you can take painkillers. If you're bleeding, you can put a plaster on it, or a band-aid in America. It's like there's things that you can do to deal with other medical things. This, you just got to let happen. It's like you can't stop it. And for me, I found it really hard being out of control. It's like I wanted to feel like I was in control. It was my body. I wanted to be in control. And the other thing that I struggled with was the fact that if you Google things, like where I said I thought it was maybe my temperature, the trigger of hair loss happens 3 months before something major. So, say if you had a temperature, it's likely to start falling out 3 months after your temperature, not straight away. And I haven't had anything wrong with me. It's like I haven't had an operation. I haven't been pregnant, which was another one where they said after childbirth, like your hair falls out. There's nothing I could put it on to. Like, I've still been eating fine. I eat quite healthily. I exercise. There wasn't a single thing that I could put it on. Like, oh, I've been eating wrong. That's to blame. It's like I haven't, been in an operation. I haven't had a kid. It's like all the things that they were saying are causes weren't me. So I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't know what I could do to even make it stop. Something had obviously caused it. The doctor had taken my blood test. They said they came back fine. So without me saying anything to him, he put it down to the fact that I was stressed out from living in America. It's like he said, he was like, I can pretty much say that it's probably stress of living away from home. I hadn't told him that I have been struggling. It's like I've been struggling living in a different country. It's like I do miss home, and that's probably it. It's probably the extreme stress of living overseas away from everything that's normal. I've been here nearly 3 years now, and obviously I'm struggling, and it's not fun. And so the only way I could kind of cope with it mentally, what started making me feel better, was that I started to tell people about it. I started to say to people, look, I'm not in a good place at the moment. It's like my hair's falling out. I don't know how to stop it. I'm scared that it's going to get worse. It's like I work in a school. It's like, you know how brutally honest kids could be. I was worried that I would start having these massive bald patches and then being like, what's wrong with your hair? And it's like, I was worried that it would bring like attention to me that I didn't want and things like that. I really didn't want. But then the more I spoke about it, I found out that it's actually really common to have like alopecia areata. Like lots of people have had it, and they would give me ideas on things I could do that might help, or just talking about it and just letting people know what I was going through really helped. It kind of took an ease off. Like I didn't want people to be like, oh, it's like it was preparing them for say what could happen. It's like I didn't want to change the way I look. You see videos of people like saying, "Oh, I styled my hair a different way," and that. It's like I didn't want to draw attention to the fact I was looking different. So it's like I've still been doing exactly the same. It's like I think I've lost about 50% of my hair, but as you can see, I've still got quite a lot left, like at the back at least. Maybe not on top, but I've still got some hair. Like I said, it hasn't stopped though, so it could potentially get worse. But talking about it and letting people know like what you're going through and having people give you ideas, it really does help. So if I was going to give you 2 tips on how to cope with it like now, it would be don't look at how bad it can be because you're only going to freak yourself out. And the second one is to talk to other people because you'll be surprised how many other people have been going through it or something similar. And it's just nice for them to like kind of have your back and like just be checking up on you and be like, are you okay, and things like that. So that is the advice I would give you. This also kind of goes for another thing. Like mine's been falling out in patches, but it's also very similar, like my symptoms, to Telogen Effluvium, bit of a mouthful, where you do lose your hair all like kind of in like all over it. It thins basically, which is yes, I have like the holes, but it's been thinning in other places. So my symptoms are fairly similar to that as well. So if you're going through that, it's kind of almost the same thing. You can lose between 50 and 70% of your hair. When your hair falls out, it falls out with like the root on the end. It has like a little white bobble on the end. Um, that's been happening to me as well. So you know it's not like breaking off, it's actually coming out of your head. So yeah, that's what I would say on how to cope with it. Talk to people, don't freak yourself out on how bad it's going to get. It's like you just got to remember that it is going to grow back, and I will be making some more videos on things I've been doing to kind of help me cope in like actual physical ways. So like things that I'm doing, things that I've bought, things that I'm now eating. I'll be doing more videos about things like that and how it's hopefully coming back. I'm hoping it's going to come back. I'm trying to be positive. So like yeah, there'll be other videos to show you what happens when hopefully it starts growing back. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop a comment and I will answer them in future videos. Or if you don't want to make it public, you're more than welcome to email me. I'll leave like my Instagrams or my Twitters or my emails. Feel free to message me if you want to just share your story with me or just have somebody else you can talk to. I am all ears, and yeah, you're not alone in this, and it's something that you can get through together. Yeah, having support is one of the best things that you can have when you're feeling like you're lost. So yeah, hope everybody has a good day, and yeah, feel free to message me if you have any questions.